Hello, this is Amanda Malave with BUS312, Principles of Marketing. Today we're going to go over Chapter 14. We're going to be engaging customers and communicating customer value through a marketing program. We're actually going to work through an integrated marketing strategy and use a great example. It's going over the overall marketing process model. We figured out customer needs. We've actually figured out how to go through a corporate strategy and take it all the way down to a return on investment for marketing. We've actually worked step by step on how to construct the integrated marketing program, which is how to design the product and service and build a strong brand, the pricing, how to distribute it through retail and wholesale channels. And today we're going to be doing a deeper dive into promotion, how to communicate that value. And again, we do all of this so that we can engage customers and build profitable relationships so that we create some sort of value for them. And in turn, we create profits and customer equity for the companies we work for. Today's objectives are four. One is really understanding the communications landscape and why integrated marketing is so critical. We'll discuss the steps in the promotional mix. We'll outline the communication process step by step and how to deliver something that's actually effective by using a really great example. And then we'll explain the methods of setting a promotional budget and factors that affect your overall promotion mix. And then from there, we'll actually do a recap of how well this company did as far as communicating their processes. All right, so let's get started with objectives 1 and 2, the communication landscape and the need for integrated marketing. So why do we need integrated marketing? Well, consumers are super informed nowadays, so everything needs to be seamless. There's a lot more communication, there's mass marketing, there's tons of technology. As a matter of fact, the TV advertising is absolutely critical, and what we'll see in the near future is actually integrating your experience through some sort of artificial intelligence in your TV. So it's absolutely critical to understand that. And as a brand content manager, you actually have to decide how are you going to integrate all of this together and which ones to use. So it gets very, very confusing, especially when you have so many different channels and more coming at you depending on what type of customers you have. So it's obvious that we need integrated marketing and it all needs to be seamless. Well, how do you do that? Well, this is a step-by-step process that is used by almost every company. So please take this into consideration that it's super critical to understand it. And you also need to make sure that your content is fluid and that it's inspiring and sharing your message about your brand, that you use the promotional tools, also known as communication mix, which is the advertising, personal selling, public relations, direct marketing, and sales promotion. So marketing uses all of these to create a consistent and clear, compelling, and brand message about your products. This sounds all great, but it's a really difficult task. The biggest issue is complexity and fragmentation. Advertising could be different than how you sell it at the store. You might have a public relations team that doesn't message according to what your advertising is messaging to. Or maybe there's a coupon out there that doesn't necessarily support your product as much as you'd like. Or there's a mailer that has a different message. So all of this has to be put together. So let's walk through an example. So today we're going to use a scenario and some market data. So let's say you graduated from college and you're going to be a brand content manager. You actually got a really cool job at Procter & Gamble and you're really excited about it, and Tide wants to now introduce pods. This actually occurred in 2012, so we're just going to put ourselves in those shoes. So take it back a couple of years. So this is Tide Pods. We all know this. We all use it. A lot of us love it. Some of us don't. So before it was introduced and Procter & Gamble wanted to be the first ones to be out there on the market, they followed a process on how to get this completed. But you're talking to a vice president, you're the new brand content manager, and he's going to give you some different things. Number one is that he's scared. It would be their first pod. This is a new formula. It's better than regular Tide, so that's good news for you. You got a lot to work with. It keeps things bright and keeps brights brighter, and it's easy to use. You don't have to measure it. The great thing is that you have 825,000 Facebook followers, so you can absolutely use that. However, your CEO and VP told you that you have limited funds because this is a new product. So they're going to give you $100,000 for marketing, and they told you don't mess it up. Next, they give you some research. They tell you that moms and dads have increased laundry and purchasing power over the last couple of years. So dads are the ones that are actually doing the laundry, but moms are the ones that are actually purchasing the products or having dad purchase the products that they want. So another demographic that has changed is that dad's going to go to the stores and purchase things too. So you just got to take that into consideration that both moms and dads, not just moms, are going to actually want to understand what this product is all about. This is all the information that the VP gave you. So here is a link if you want to take a look at it of the current website where Tide is being marketed. So let's go to objective number 2. We're going to outline the entire process of how you communicate something like this if you're a brand manager. And again, I hope that you keep these presentations because they might become useful in your new jobs. Whether you're going to start a company and you need to actually market something, or you're helping a friend market something, or you're in IT and you have to market your product. So let's take a look at the communication process before we go through step by step. It's really critical that you understand the elements of the communication process because this is how consumers are going to receive your message. So this is a figure in 4.2 that you really need to know. So obvious that you, the sender, you're the brand manager, is going to send a message. You have an intent, you're going to send it through media. However, we never know how the receiver, how the moms and dads are actually going to decode our messages or how they're going to use our products. There's a lot of noise out there, especially on social media, and we'll be talking about how that actually impacted Tide Pods. And there's noise too from feedback and responses from even customers. And a lot of times marketing will make changes because of that. So we'll walk through that example. So there's 5 steps in developing an effective marketing communication program. One is to identify your target audience and where they are in the buying process, figuring out what your objective is, designing the message, choosing the media, how you're going to actually communicate that message, and then select the source of who's going to communicate that message, and then collect feedback. So let's walk through each step by step using Tide Pods. The first step is identifying the target audience. What will be said, how it will be said, when it will be said, where it will be said, who will say it, are all super critical ways to do that. But you need to identify who the audience is. So based off of the data that the VP gave you, who would you target? Would it be moms? Would it be dads? Well, current Tide users are moms, but don't forget about dads. They do laundry at about 50%. But again, what Tide decided to do is they decided to target both. We're going to identify if that was the right mix or not as we go through this. So again, they decided to target moms and dads. So the next step is, all right, you got your target market. So you need to identify, well, what is my objective about what marketing I'm going to put out there? There's actually a model called the buyer readiness stage model that helps you identify what stage you are from a marketing standpoint, dependent on where your target customer is. So this is a new product. All these stages would be different for different products. So a customer first has to be aware of a product. They got to understand what that product's all about. Then you got to get them to like it. Then you got to not only get them to like it, but prefer it compared to everything else out there in the market. And again, detergent is a hugely competitive market. Then you got to get them to actually buy. So it takes some action to get that purchase into place. The efforts that you take from a marketing standpoint, whether it's through social media, sending out mailers, whatever it might be, or a TV commercial, is going to be different based off of where you are in the buyer readiness stage. So where is Tide Pods? Well, Tide Pods are actually in the awareness and knowledge stage because this is a brand new product. They have to get people to be aware of it and understand how to use it. So focus on needs is super critical here. Once you've identified where they are in the buyer stage, then we're going to use something called ADA. ADA is also another tool that helps you determine your objective. So we know you got to get them aware of your product and know what your product's about. So what we do here is we try to get it through to be attractive through them by bringing brand visibility. And luckily, because you work at Tide, at least you have that brand equity with the Tide name and also the Procter and Gamble name. So, but awareness is super, super critical. So how do you create that? Well, we're going to create awareness on how to actually use the pods and how they come out with really bright clothes. Remember that the VP told you that that was super critical. And how it smells. Remember, you want to create something that actually impacts all the senses in your black box. And easy to use. So you got to message all those things in one promotion. So you're going to give a promo to take that action. So the next step is, all right, I know that I have to create awareness. I'm going to use a promotion. I'm going to really focus on how to use the pods because it's something new, how it smells great, how it brightens your brights. But how do you get that message across? Well, you got to get that message across to your target audience. There's 3 ways to design that message and to appeal to that target market. One is through rational appeal, something that is about self-interest or a claim, similar to more pills don't necessarily mean relieve. Aleve has strength to keep body, mind, and your back feeling great. So that would be like the rational appeal. The emotional appeal is an attempt to stir up some sort of positive or negative emotion. And humor is super, super critical in that type of event, or even a life event like Mother's Day or something that's really important to someone. Moral appeal is directed to an audience's sense of right and wrong. So which should Tide use? Which one would be the most effective? A lot of people would say it's rational appeal, but in this instance, what Tide used was emotional appeal. And they targeted dads and the relationships with the kids. Their thinking was that if I target dads, I am also going to appeal emotionally to moms as well. And they focused on really bright, clean clothes and that life event with dad. So they would focus on the first day of school or potentially the graduation day or a prom date that the kids got a stain on their shirt. So they had to wash it right away. Something that is emotional to both the moms and dads. Before I show you a couple of their advertisements, what I wanted to do is go back to that communication model that we had before, where you're a marketer and your target market's receiving tons and tons of messages, whether it's from YouTube or a friend or your targeted messaging with coupons in the mail. They're getting a lot of information. And there's something called subliminal messaging too. So I wanted to have each of you take out a piece of paper and a pencil. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to go get a piece of paper and a pencil because this is a really cool little exercise. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you got your piece of paper and a pencil and you're going to draw in a second. But before you draw, we're going to watch a video. So let's click on this video. This is a mind game and it's all about subliminal messaging. Quickly write the number 14. Now write down the number 18. Write down the number 24. Now think of a vegetable and write that down. The first one that pops up into your mind. Okay, you got it? All right. Did you choose a carrot? I bet you did. Most students do. Let's take a look at why. You're wondering how that was done. Well, the first one tastes like a carrot, and it made you think of numbers. Like 14, 18, and 24 karat gold. That was a subliminal message. For those of you that didn't collect a carrot, you got a great mom. All right, going back to the presentation. So we know that subliminal messaging and everything that you actually put in your message, whether it's in print or in commercial, or even anything that's done on YouTube, is going to actually trigger the black box of your customer. So let's take a look at what Tide Pods decided to do. They decided to create a message. And again, when you create a message, you make sure that it says what it wants to say and how you're going to say it. So let's take a look at a great commercial that Tide did. And they call this Dad Mom. And as you can see, there's 69,000 views on it. And I want you to watch for the subliminal message as well. And remember that the target market is moms and dads. So let's take a quick peek. Sorry about that. I'm just going to grab this video here.
Hi, I'm a dad mom. That means while my wife works, I'm at home being awesome. I know there's a lot of moms that are out there that look at my unique mixture of masculinity and nurturing, and they find it quite alluring. And I know that there's dads who are out there who are astonished with my ability to dress a 4-year-old. But here's a real kicker. I can take even the frilliest girl dress and fold it with complete accuracy. Boom. And with Tide Boost, I can use the brute strength of dad to mix with the nurturing abilities of my laundry detergent. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go do pull-ups and crunches in the other room. Tide Boost is my Tide. What's yours?
Exceptional, exceptional marketing, right? And the subliminal messages keep coming. Mom, dad. So mom and dad are listening. How it's clean, and then how it's awesome, and then using that emotional feelings around being awesome and being funny at the same time. So great, great commercial. So lots of subliminal messages in there and used very, very well. Again, Procter & Gamble, who owns Tide Pods, is one of the best marketers in the world. That's why we're using this example. All right, so here we go. We know that the Tide commercials were of emotional standpoint and had some subliminal messaging and very, very effective. So they know how they're going to message it. They know who they're going to target. So there's a couple of ways to target that. So one of them is through commercials, obviously. The other one is through personal communication, which is actually 2 or more people communicating directly with each other, which is face-to-face, phone, email, mail, internet chat. But it's really, really expensive to do this. It's really effective, but remember, you have a $100,000 budget. So did Tide end up using this? No, they actually didn't use personal communication methods because it's way, way too expensive. But for higher end products, you probably want to use that. However, What you can use is non-personal communication, which is all types of media. And this is an example of print ads. And those print ads or commercials are used to affect people. And we hope from a marketing perspective that our products are so cool that it will get other people to take some sort of action. And I'm going to show you how that works in a second. So marketers often use non-personal communication by embedding customer endorsements or word of mouth testimonials in their ads and promotions as well. So they use retail ads and then non-personal communication to get somebody to actually take action. So let's take a look at some of the other non-personal communication that is used to have moms and dads take some sort of action. Again, we're trying to create awareness. And in this particular item, we were trying to create awareness of how messy regular Tide is and how easy to use Tide is and how little it is, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that was that message there. So here, they're also used for the launch of Tide Pods launch. You can use things like events or stage occurrences or press conferences. And Tide did tons and tons of advertising. They actually used somebody called Andrew Richards Designs to create an event. And again, here, this Cossack guy was super popular back in the day in 2012, especially with moms and dads. He had a super popular show on cable. So they used him and he was part of the event. So again, they were trying to make it cool and funny to have, the Tide Pods, whether it was through the commercials or the retail print ads or through the launch party. So they continued to use non-personal communication in the hopes that it would turn to personal communication. So let me show you some examples of personal communication that was actually utilized really well. I don't know if Tide paid Andrew Gable, but I would imagine that he was paid. He's considered an opinion leader. And opinion leaders are people that are known to be really great at knowledge of a specific skill or a personality or somebody that's just really liked. So Andrew here has 607,000 views on how to use Tide Pods. So let's take a look at how he did that and how effective that was.
We were born with sun in our teeth and in our hair. When we get bored, we like to sit around and stare at the mountains, at the birds, at the ocean, at the trees. We have fun when we please.
Get the gist of it. The interesting part is that they used this guy Andrew, who people obviously really like, and he was barefoot. He was at a actual laundromat using his little card. So very low key, but super impactful, having 607,000 people watch it. So again, they did a great job there. That's how they used some personal communication through opinion leaders to really effectively target their core audience. Again, they used a dad. So let's take a look at buzz marketing. Buzz marketing is all about cultivating opinion leaders and getting them to spread your information as well. So here's a kid who actually has 101,000 views, almost 102,000 views on the Tide Pods, and do they work? And I think that this is a really great example. And we also know by what he talks about that he didn't get paid. So let's take a look at that one.
I was not told by Tide. Tide did not come and say, hey, DGYV, how about you come and do a product test on our new Tide Pods? That's not what this is. This is me getting bored, wanting to try something new. This shirt, let's move all this stuff out of the way. This shirt here is just a big shirt. It's kind of big for me. It's nothing fancy. So what we're gonna do is I have a whole bunch of stuff, including maple syrup. I have some grape juice. I have some orange soda and some normal cola. I have some jelly. This is the grape jelly, isn't it? Yeah.
So the gist of it is that he actually puts all of this on the shirt
in its spot
and really puts it in there.
Some of the
this
stuff.
Is like amazing marketing for Tide Pods.
I'm gonna have to mop after this. I'm gonna use 2 on the package. It does say that to use 2 pods for bigger loads or worse stains.
So here they got free advertising on how to use the pods, which is amazing.
Pretty sure this is the worst stain. There's a couple stains on here that I really wish I could get, but I'm probably not gonna get. But I'm gonna go upstairs and rummage through and see if I can find anything else. Oh, it's too close to white. I'm not sure how well this. Dad, we're gonna throw it in the wash.
So he's showing
the 2
people how to use it. Kid who was bored.
We can do small, cold wash.
And look
I'll
at
just
here,
do a light.
he's got competitor products up
wash.
here.
Okay, alrighty guys, here it is. Okay, I have to first off say, I'm amazed.
He's amazed.
I am super.
Okay, so this kid got 101,000 views because he ends up being a non-paid person who then becomes a buzz marketer. So why do we care about these things so much? It's because studies show that friends and family, whether we consider them friends and family, or even somebody that we don't necessarily know, but that we trust, to be influencers upon us. And one of the ways to measure that is through Net Promoter Score. And you all had my message around how I did the survey on the class, and I used that Net Promoter Score question: how likely are you to recommend this class to families and friends? So based off of Net Promoter Score, which almost everyone on the mainland uses to measure loyalty, 50% of the people say that friends and family are their number one influence, and that they trust recommendations from people they know. And then 70% of people trust opinions posted online. So these 2 gentlemen, again, one was probably paid for, the other one wasn't, was exactly what you would want to happen. So then we understand how we're going to get our message across. We're going to use online buzz marketers and people that are known as experts in the field, and especially dads, because we know that that's who we're targeting. So you also can select other ways to message your product. One of them is through celebrities. So because you didn't necessarily have to pay tons of money for those 2 gentlemen in the previous slide, we're going to use some of that $100,000 to actually use people like celebrities or entertainers. And in this case, when Tide Pods just came out in 2012, we were having the Olympics. It was a really big deal. So they actually used Simone Biles. So she ended up being super, super popular, and people just love this ad. But just be careful, because when you tie yourself to any celebrity and they go amok, and we know those people that have gone amok, it goes really bad fast. But 91% of celebrities do a strong job, according to most experts. It's that 1% that go off rails that can really ruin a brand. So it's pretty safe to say that Simone would be a pretty safe bet for Tide. All right, we've figured out how we're going to market. We got buzz marketers to put things on YouTube. We got Andrew to post, have, almost 600,000 people watch his video. Now we've actually launched it, as a pilot, and we actually want to get feedback before we launch it full force. In this particular case, the collecting of the feedback was the game changer for Tide. It's when they actually try to understand what their target audiences says and the behaviors or the buying behavior. So feedback was super critical. And what Tide did after they initially launched it was they got feedback that the packaging, the original packaging, was just kind of bland. So they went and worked with their product marketing team and their scientists. They got it to smell even stronger, and they changed the packaging to be this red and blue packaging. So everybody's happy. They went through the entire process. The CEO and the VP are super excited about that brand new graduate that did a great job. They love the commercials on YouTube. They love the message. They love the packaging. So everything's going great. So now a couple things that they have to actually consider as a brand marketing manager is 5 more things. One is, the target audience, which again, they focused on moms via the dads and focused on bright and clean clothes. They actually focused on using Facebook, 875,000 Tide users. And again, that's free, right? So it's super easy to use your Facebook and personal messaging. They used non-personal messaging like events and YouTube, and they did that really well. They used opinion leaders and linked it back to Facebook and YouTube. And they also used a celebrity as well. And then they used the Facebook. And again, the VP was super, super stoked. So the key thing here is when you're delivering an effective communication program for marketing is that you want to use as many avenues as you can and make sure that it's all integrated. And again, the whole entire message was about bright, clean, easy to use. And even the color of the packaging was super bright and made it look like it was clean. All right, so the last part is, well, there's a couple of different steps that we need to understand, which is, what's the budget and how are we actually going to get this accomplished? So as the brand marketing manager, this is the hardest steps. We were initially told that we got a $100,000 budget, but if you don't, then you're going to have to set up the budget. There's a couple ways to do that. One is through an affordable budget method, where you set the budget at an affordable level, but that's not always accurate. Similar in this case, they gave you $100,000. That wouldn't be the most accurate way to do that, just giving you a blank amount without really considering all the factors. The other one is through competitive parity method, where you try to figure out what budget other competitors are using and use that, but that's not that great as well, especially if you have a competitor that didn't do so well. Another one is a percentage of sales method, and that's probably the one that works the best. And it's based off of how much you forecast to sell, then you'll get a percentage of marketing budget. The last one is the objective and task method, where you set the budget based off of what the company wants to accomplish. And the book here states that that's the best method. To me, it's both the percentage of sales method, that's the one I usually see the most, and it's tied with the objective and task method. So in this particular case with Tide, we weren't given a choice. But if we did have a choice, we would have used the percentage of sales method or the object and task method. So the next thing we want to focus on is how do we use the promotion communication mix, the ones that we learned in Objective 1, the advertising, the personal selling, the public relations, all to make it integrated. So you're going to integrate your advertising, how we're going to sell it personally. For example, you could start selling your product at Costco and have people actually selling face-to-face with laundering machines and testing that out with the moms and dads that are coming through Costco. That would be a good method. You could use sales promotions like coupons, public relations teams, similar to that events team that we saw that created a big launch event, and direct marketing like telemarketing, online marketing, such as the YouTube channel and Facebook. So, due to our budget, what Tide Pods did is they used online marketing because it was free, and then they spent about $100,000 on sales promotion and direct marketing, mostly online through YouTube, and then also that celebrity person that was Simone, that was from the Olympics. The third step in figuring out the promotional mix strategy is there's how do you get it out to the actual retail stores? There's two ways to do this. So which one should Tide use? So let's explain what processes there are. All right, so we have a retail store such as a Lowe's or Home Depot or independent dealers. And what we do in that particular instance is it's called a push strategy, where we actually produce a Tide Pods and we actually ship it out to the Lowe's or Home Depots. And then we have the people that are at Lowe's or Home Depot, they get an incentive to sell to consumers. So they're going to push that product out there. But the better strategy for this particular product would be the pull strategy. This is where you get people excited about your product first, and then they ask, where is this product when they get to the grocery store? So that is the pull strategy, where your consumer is pulling the demand. The push is when you send out the product. The pull is when your consumer is actually clicking on your demand. So for Tide, what they did is use their pull strategy by putting a Facebook coupon of $2 off for the Tide Pods. So that is a brilliant, brilliant strategy. The last step is the social responsibility part. Social responsibility for any product needs to be really considered. So you need to make sure that you're communicating honestly, that you avoid deception, that you don't bait and switch, that you're fair in competing, that you don't take bribes, you're not using somebody else's trade secrets, and that you're following all the rules like the Robinson-Patman Act, which makes sure that you have fair trade promotions and not giving, for example, Costco a huge discount to get to actually sell your product versus somebody else. So Tide did what it usually did. Procter & Gamble is known for being phenomenal at marketing. So basically what they did is just put be careful, if somebody's going to eat this product, make sure that you go to the poison control. So Tide did the same thing it always does and used a standard practice. And per their understanding, this was the best thing to do. So let's recap all of Tide's decisions and what they did. So the target audience was their current customers on Facebook, especially moms and dads. They focused on an effective communication and delivery method. Their objectives were to create awareness and knowledge and to teach people how to use the pods, and they used YouTube. They really focused on the desire and conviction to buy using promos and life events messaging, similar to that dad and his awesomeness and how he can do push-ups and clean laundry at the same time. They used emotional messaging. They used personal messaging with Facebook users and YouTube, non-personal, and used opinion leaders and the gymnast as well as a source. They use feedback on the research that they got that it needed to be more brighter packaging and messaging. And they actually had a promotion budget, which was really not a choice. So they actually just used the affordable budget plan. They used the pull strategy, which was getting people attracted to your product first so that they demand the product at the Walmarts, Costco's, and grocery stores by using a $2 off coupon. And the promotion mix that they used was sales promotions, coupons, and contests to attract customer attention, and direct marketing, direct mail, catalogs, telemarketing, and online marketing. They did everything right except the social responsibility section. Why is that? Let's take a look at what happened. Let's take a look at what happened in 2012, and then we'll take a look at what happened in 2018. And what we're going to show here is that they had a brand crisis, and they didn't know how to respond to the Tide Pod challenges, or the fact that they used their research marketing to actually make it look like candy. So let's take a look at what happened there. This is in 2012.
Consumer warning tonight about a relatively new product that might be in your home. These small, colorful packets of laundry detergent.
The good news here is that it's on the nightly news, and it is, absolutely phenomenal that they have this person talking about it and showing their product, but the messaging is not what anybody wants.
This one is Tide, and as you can see, it can look like candy to small children who have been eating them. After we heard about a surge of calls to the poison control centers in this country, we made some calls and got action today, and here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
So people actually called the poison control, which is they actually, use their social responsibility to put that on the packaging, but it didn't go well.
Once again, here's that laundry detergent package. And here's a piece of candy, bright and colorful. Even this container of the detergent resembles a candy jar.
And you thought that was going to work so well because it's bright and colorful, exactly what you were targeting.
It's that similarity that likely enticed 19-month-old Isabella Sutton to put one in her mouth this morning.
So the nightly news is actually using emotional marketing to market the fact that they think that this product isn't good for consumers. Look at the fact that they actually brought a child and their mom, which again is who you want to target if you're Tide, but not in this way.
Yeah, candy. I just figured they got into candy and they were eating candy.
Only minutes after it burst in her mouth, she had severe vomiting and diarrhea.
You don't think about safety proofing laundry detergent.
Our most concentrated liquid detergent ever.
Rolled out this past February, the single-dose laundry detergent packets are advertised as an end to the mess, spills, and heavy jugs. But the American Association of Poison Control Centers says in the last 20 days, they've received nearly 180 calls. Texas alone reports receiving 57 of those emergency calls just since the beginning of the month.
We've seen children that have significant vomiting.
So now you have a dad, which again we would want, but not this message.
Difficulty breathing, wheezing, coughing, and several had to be put on ventilators to help them breathe.
So far, no reports of deaths related to this. Now, we did reach out to several of the manufacturers.
So no reported deaths. Obviously, this is not the type of marketing you would want. But Tide had, now we're in 2018, they had many years to get this right. But look and see what's still happening, even as of today.
Social media, a dangerous challenge for teens, is going viral, and now the health department is speaking up. Good evening, I'm Aaron Luna, and this is Nightside. It's called the Tide Pod Challenge. Teens intentionally putting dangerous chemicals in their mouth for entertainment. But there's nothing funny about it. New tonight on Nightside, KXY4's Annie Bishop is live in the newsroom with those details. Annie?
Well, we know laundry pods are dangerous for small children's 1 to 3-year-olds because they look like candy. Now, 13-year-olds want to eat them too. Tonight, the health department warning this bizarre viral trend could send a teen from the laundry room to a hospital room in a matter of minutes. It may seem like common sense, but in the age of digital peer pressure, this message.
So again, Tide hasn't really learned the social responsibility aspect, or they decided not to spend money on this. And that is just really an example of how a great marketing plan, a great product, as a matter of fact, and even the social responsibility that they did, they actually went to Twitter and started telling people not to take, this product and put it in your mouths. So they're using everything they can, but it's still not as effective as it needs to be from a social responsibility standpoint. As a matter of fact, they're considered to be having a brand crisis at the moment. So the lesson of this is that you can do all of this correctly, but if you don't really take into consideration what feedback and all the implications down the road that it could have, and your social responsibility to it, that it could all actually falter as well. Again, Tide did a great job, but missed on that specific area, and it's still struggling with that. All right, I hope you enjoyed the example, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Mahalo.